As I was thinking about this question, I started thinking, of course, about Antarctica, because I think there are really interesting parallels between Antarctic tourism here on Earth and what the future of space tourism could be. So, as you know, I was in Antarctica 2 Novembers ago. It was a really fantastic trip, but it wasn't a vacation. It was an expedition. I had to do a whole bunch of education and a whole bunch of training before I got there. And there were a whole bunch of protocols in place that not only did I have to abide by, but the tourism operator that I was working with also had to really abide by those standards. So Antarctica is governed by the Antarctic Treaty System, which is preserving that continent for peaceful purposes and for science. They allow tourism in Antarctica, but it's super tightly regulated. You can't just show up. There's all kinds of rules. Only certain areas are accessible, and there are really strict environmental and safety standards. So just as an example, the only thing of mine that could touch the ground in Antarctica was the soles of my feet. I could not even set my bag down on the ground. I couldn't put anything down. I couldn't, when I was coming down an icy slope, I couldn't sit down and slide down on my butt, which is what I would prefer to do to be safe, because the only part of me that was allowed to touch the ground was the soles of my feet. And then as soon as I stepped back on board the ship, I had to disinfect my boots. I had to scrub everything down to try to minimize the chance that there would be a vector exchange between what I was carrying on my body and Antarctica, or vice versa. And I was down there right as bird flu was taking off. So that was a really big it was important. It was really important that we were behaving this way. So I can picture a future in which Mars tourism or the moon tourism follows suit in the same way. It's not luxury escapism. It's an actual structured, meaningful experience, an expedition, not a vacation. So these visits could be purpose-driven. You could be contributing to science. You could document and share your experience. You'd be connecting people emotionally to STEM or to planetary stewardship. It's all really, really exciting ideas. So when I think about the idea of taking the Antarctic tourism model and applying that to Mars, I'm thinking about raising global awareness. I'm thinking about funding sustainable and responsible infrastructure. I'm thinking about citizen science and storytelling and getting people really excited and testing governance models, particularly if it's international collaboration governance models. Antarctica is really an amazing example of how international collaboration could work. I would really love to see that happen off Earth as well.